Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kathy. This video is going to be a redo of how easy it is to sell on eBay. I did a video, I think back in November, on how to sell on eBay, and I've been doing that for probably close to 2 years, and I've talked about it in a couple videos just in passing, that I sell things on eBay and on Facebook Marketplace. And people have asked me, can you go over how to do it and tell about what you do? And just this morning, a friend of mine asked, can you elaborate more on that? And I was going to redo the video I did back in October, November of last year, 2024, because there's a mistake in it. And so I'm going to make that one private and I'll just redo. So just a little background. Like I mentioned, I've sold on eBay for probably close to going on 2 years. I've only sold on Facebook Marketplace maybe a year or so, but I'll do a completely different video on that. And I don't do any editing on my videos, so I won't be showing any screenshots or walking you through. But if you have a desktop, or if you have your phone and you're watching through, step by step how to do it, you'll see. Or if you watch the video on your desktop and go through the steps on your phone, because that's all I have is my phone to list everything. And yeah, they make it really easy. So I inherited a whole bunch of stuff in the last couple of years, not just from parents, but grandparents on both sides, my great aunt and great uncle. And then I have a whole bunch of stuff, or had a whole bunch of things that were in storage in a different state that I, excuse me, have since cleared out, and all that stuff was brought over to the state that we now live in. And I've been going through that and listing things, getting rid of things, donating things. And so the smaller things I list on eBay. The larger items I list on Facebook Marketplace, because then you don't have to deal with like shipping, even though you can choose that route on Marketplace, but not necessarily. You can just meet with someone in your local area. And when we lived in Oregon, I sold a ton of stuff on Marketplace, just meeting with people. And I also bought things on Marketplace that we needed for our move to where we're at now. So walking through the steps, and leave me, if there's any questions, leave me down below in the comments if something isn't clear or that maybe I didn't go into enough detail on. And just from doing this for a while now, I'm learning more things all the time. And eBay also makes adjustments with the fees that they take out, so you have to keep that into consideration when you're setting your price. And also shipping fluctuates. And talking to one of the ladies at my local post office around the holidays of 2024, she said that rates were going up, and they have. So I have had to adjust the shipping cost on a lot of things, and I'll talk more about that. So I'll just walk through like how I use my phone. So if you've ever bought anything on eBay, then you probably have either the eBay app, or maybe you just go onto their website. But I use the app. If you've ever sold anything, then you will know the spots that I'm talking about. So if you've ever bought anything on eBay, just open up the app. And if this is your first time selling, I think it's down at the bottom right. It will have a button that says selling. So tap on that, and that will take you into a whole new screen. And I think at the top it says sell an item. So tap on that. And then the first thing that you can do is upload pictures. You don't have to do it right then, but you can, or you can fill out the other areas and go back and add in pictures. So what I do is, let's just say I'm selling this, maybe this is an antique water bottle or something. So what I do before I do anything is search for this on eBay for what it is selling for and also what the description is that people use. So you can either search by you can take a picture of it and that will pull it up. You can search by the barcode, or you can just type in the brand and that will pull up. So that will pull up every one of these that is listed. So up at the top right, you can filter it to the ones that have actually been sold. And that's what you want. You don't really care about what people are listing them for because they might not be selling. You want to look at the ones that are actually selling. So I filter that, go in, hit sold items, and then click on those that it refreshes. And it might have, maybe just one, or it might have 5 or 10 of these. And I look at the price, roughly what they're selling for, what people, let's say they're selling for $5 with $5 shipping, just to keep it easy. And maybe one of them might be $6, one of them might be $4. There might be one that's really high for whatever reason, or maybe it comes with an extra little gadget and they sold that for $10. So I just look through that, look at the description. They all pretty much should have the same description, like the brand, what it is, the size, the condition, and anything else that might be in there. So what I do is take a screenshot of maybe 3 of those that are all pretty similar in price and shipping, as close as possible to my item here. And I have, have that in my photos so I can refer back and look at exactly how to type in the description, the price, the shipping. So I do that first, usually. Sometimes, and like I said, you can add in the photos after you've already put the description. So going back to the app, you've clicked on selling, list an item, and the photos are at the top. Let's say I've taken pictures of this, all different angles everywhere, and I've weighed it. I bought a little small scale. I think it's either a food scale or an office scale that's digital. I think I got it on eBay. It was maybe $5. It works really good because you're going to want to have the ounces, pounds and ounces for the shipping. And so I upload my photos. The top part is the photos. I crop them if I need to, if there's something else maybe in the background, or if I need to zoom in, but just be careful to not zoom in too much because eBay likes the picture to be a certain size, or it will give you an error saying, not large enough, and it won't let you use it. So that takes some playing around with, but, and you can also edit on the eBay app. So let's say I took this picture with this in the background. I can edit that on eBay to have it just all white in the background. That's what most people do, or you can just have it how you have it. So, and it just takes playing around with. It's not hard at all. Yeah, so you have your items. I think you can put up to 9 or 10 items. They say, like I mentioned, all different angles, all that. So you do that. The next part is the description. You can start typing in your description, the brand, like I said, the size, the condition, and it will pop up. They've updated it where it pops up other descriptions that people have used that match. So if I see one that completely matches what I was going to type in, I tap on that, and maybe that description is back in that screenshot that I took. And I might adjust it. You can go back and forth. I might go back to my photo, that screenshot that where it shows, you know, maybe 3 descriptions that people used and the price and the shipping. So I can toggle back and forth and get it just how I want it. I try to use as many descriptive words. And, you know, if you have to take most of the description from this item and maybe add a few words that are in this item to, I think it lets you use 80 characters. Excuse me. And so, and it also makes it so every word is capitalized. So it looks really good, really clean. And so you do that. And then the new thing they added on was it pops up similar items, maybe 4 of them, and with a similar description, a similar picture, and it will say, are any of these your item? Which I've never had that. You know, this is a brand new thing for me listing, so it's not my item. And so I just click on it down at the bottom. I think it says no, you know, use my description. So I use that, go to the next area, and this is where you fill out all the different fields. You know, it might have the brand, the height, the width, the circumference, whatever it is, the diameter, the weight, maybe where it was made, what country, if it's vintage. Vintage is over 20 years old. Antique is over 100 years old, just so you know that. So I have a lot of things that are vintage from either the 1980s when I grew up, or the 90s, or the early 2000s. I mean, those are all over 20 years old. So I will type in vintage and then the description, and everyone else does the same thing. And so you fill in all your descriptions, and it will say see more fields or see more descriptions. And they like you to have as many as possible. So I usually, and even if you don't know, it might say like, what's the UPC, or does it meet the California Prop 65, whatever, you know, just skip those. Or if it has one that you can put yes or no, or unknown, or not sure, or fill in your own. Yeah, just fill in as much as you can. It really likes that. And so then you get down to the big description box, and it will take what you already typed in your title, and it will put that. You can leave it at that, or it will say use AI description. So I maybe do half the time. Lately, I've been using AI more because I just want more of a description. I want this stuff to sell and to get rid of it. Some stuff, you know, after you're sitting on it for a while, you can go in, you just hit revise. You can lower the price, or make free shipping, or adjust the cost, the price of it to make free shipping, or whatever you need to do to maybe add an extra word in the description to maybe get more traffic looking at it. So let's see. Yes, you can use the AI description in the big description box. I just go through and proofread it, make sure everything, because it won't be perfect. And you can add stuff, take stuff away, save that. Sometimes if I need to add a specific thing, maybe if something has a broken little piece, you want to definitely disclose that. So in my description at the beginning, I will put in all capital letters, read description. And because you can get marked down for not disclosing certain things. And so you just want to be completely honest if something has something. Okay, so sorry, I had to get a cough drop. So I was saying you want to be completely transparent about your item. If there's anything that people need to know, I put that in the title. Like I said, all caps. And if you can't fit the full word description, I just put read descript in all caps or something like that. So you are completely open with them. And people are fine with that. I mean, I've bought things that, aren't perfect, and I just, you just want to know what you're buying. So let's see. Okay, so that's after the big description. Then you get into pricing. So that's when I refer back to my screenshot of what other people have sold it for, not what they're selling it for, because that doesn't matter. Those could sit there forever and not sell. But if they've already sold, I look at those, either do right around the same price or lower, because, personally, I want to get rid of stuff. I have over 70 items right now listed, and I have a bunch more to list. So you want to get rid of stuff. So if you are the best priced person, people most likely will buy from you. And that's what I do when I buy off of eBay, which I have been doing that more than I buy from Amazon, because eBay's usually cheaper. You can buy everything you need, brand new, all of that. And they have to compete with Amazon. So usually they have better prices. And pretty much always, I've never had anything not have a 100%, money back return policy, all that. So yeah, that's what I do. That's why I really prefer eBay. Okay, so you do your price. You can either do an auction, like 7-day. I think they have a 3-day, 7-day, and 10-day. I go between the 7-day and 10-day if I'm doing an auction, if I think people might really be interested in it and that it might go for more than what I initially think. Like, let's say you're going to start the auction at 50, but you think it might go for 100 or more. I might do the 10-day auction. It just really depends. And you can always go in and revise it. If no one is interested, you can lower the starting price. You can change it to just a buy now, so people can buy it right then for whatever price. You can put or best offer, accept offers. That will be a button to click on. Yeah, so you can play around with that. So then you get into shipping. That's where the little scale comes in. Also, it's a good idea to have a little tape measure, because they will want to know the size of the package or the envelope that you are shipping it in. So let's say this weighs maybe 5 ounces. And then if you want to bubble wrap it or something so it doesn't get damaged while you're shipping it. So that might be another ounce. Maybe the box itself might be another ounce. So if you're at 5, 6, 7, maybe add on another 1 or 2 ounces just for cushion. Because what I have learned just recently, because shipping has gone up, if you estimate on the lower side, like let's say, and eBay will come up with, okay, for this size of an item at this weight, shipping will be between, let's just say, between $4.50 and $5.50. $4.50 and $5.50. So you can either have the customer pay for that, you can include it and do free shipping, or you can do customer pays a flat rate. So I've been doing that more lately, or maybe half the time. Like if it's going to, and you really have to learn from this, because you can get, shipping can really get you. So, and I've had this happen where I thought, okay, it's telling me between $4.50 and $5.50. I'm going to say customer pays the flat rate of $4.50. But let's say on their end, when they buy it, they choose the option that's $5.50. So they've only paid $4.50, but they don't know that they've chosen the more expensive option. So I have to come up with that extra dollar. That comes out of my cost. So if I sold something for $10, eBay takes their fees, which I think is 15%, and then the shipping, which if they paid $4.50 and I'm really getting charged $5.50, that comes out of it too. So sometimes you can end up with, oh my gosh, I only made, a few dollars when I wanted to make maybe twice that. So like I said, I've had to adjust the shipping cost on a lot of mine just so I am not in the negative and I'm not the one paying for the shipping when the customer is supposed to be paying for it. So hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, and I've had it happen to where it can be a big amount, like it'll say, estimated shipping between $5 and $12. And maybe on one I sold recently, an item, the customer, I think I put estimated or customer pays flat rate of $5 because I figured, okay, it's just this thing, it'll just be $5. But no, they chose the higher shipping one, which was like $12. So I had to come up with that extra $7. So you don't want that to happen. So learn from my mistakes and trials and errors on that. So really be careful with shipping. So, and it's better to just go on the higher side if something, and people will pay it. I've had that happen where you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is really high for shipping, but I don't want to be stuck with shipping if they're only paying $4, but it ends up being $8 that they choose. Hopefully that makes sense. Once you've done it a few times, you will know what I'm talking about. So go ahead and put down the $8 or maybe $7.95. People like the number right below, because then you're not getting stuck with it. And yeah, so hopefully that all makes sense. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything. I know this is getting long, but yeah, let me know down below. Like I said, you can always go in and revise and edit. Maybe if one of your pictures didn't upload correctly because they say too small, you can retake it, upload that one. Yeah, the main thing is the description, good pictures, and shipping definitely, and your price. You want to be competitive. I like to be on the lower end so people look at me, look at my item, because that's what I do. When I buy on eBay, I find who is the cheapest, including shipping and everything. And then and if it's the exact item I want, then I pick them. So, okay, well, hopefully this helps anyone who is either starting out or needs just a little more information on how to sell on eBay. It's really easy. Yeah, probably today I will even be outside in our storage container going through things to post and sell on eBay. And I'll do a separate video about selling on Marketplace. Okay, well, I hope everyone's having a great day, and I will see you all in the next video. Okay, God bless.